Mile does finally load in, so hey everybody, welcome to the Raidcall Dota 2 League. As always, I am Baseskip, bringing you guys this game. This is just an unofficial cast from me, so I'm just casting off the ticket, though I do have the go-ahead to do so. So a big thank you and a big reminder that if you don't enjoy my coverage, you can go and check out AC and Draskell. They're over on the One More Game TV stream, and they are your official coverage for this game as well, so if you're checking it out, if you want to check it out in-game, if you want to buy the ticket, then they'll be available there as well. So without much further ado, getting underway with the game. Empire going to be over on the Radiant side, Na'Vi going to be over on the Dire, and Empire do have first pick. I think it's just a TI2 format for these tournaments as well, so Radiant have first pick. Whether or not you agree with that, I guess is another matter, but looks like that. I think that's the case. Someone might have to clarify the rules for me there. And Empire actually choosing to ban out the Lone Druid, so a little bit unusual there. And I guess harkening across a little bit to a slightly more Chinese or Asian style where the Lone Druid is actually pretty popular. But banning the Lone Druid will actually change a few things up in terms of the draft and in terms of what makes it through. So we'll see how that plays out. And especially when playing against Empire, you do have to be cautious, as always, of the Wisp and things like that. So Bat's been banned out. Magnus makes it through the pool with the Darkseer ban. He makes it through along with the Wisp. The big question right now is whether or not Empire take the Wisp or they take the Magnus. They're going to take the Wisp. So Na'Vi probably going to grab themselves the Magnus. I would suspect Empire are probably angling towards their very classic CK Wisp, though they've got plenty of options in the pool as well. There's obviously Nake's Wisp is a pretty popular combo, and in the NA scene we have seen some Tiny Wisp of late as well. So Wisp going to be picked up here by Empire. Na'Vi wouldn't be surprised to see something like a Magnus and then maybe a Rubik, perhaps Magnus Coddle, or perhaps throwing caution to the wind and picking up something different entirely. I mean, the Undying does remain in the pool as well, and while he has been pretty prolific in terms of being banned out, he hasn't actually seen all that much play of late, and frankly he isn't as strong as he used to be since the Decay since Decay was fixed, which was an effective nerf to how much HP he could gain from picking up those stacks. And Na'Vi actually digging into their reserve time right now. So we'll see if maybe they're going for a bit of a pocket strat, maybe something like that, or how standard they're feeling. Really feeling like they shouldn't be giving away the Magnus, giving the Magnus away to Empire, since I think they will run it if they get their hands on it. And already having the Wisp over on their side, there's a bit of flexibility within the team, and not only and also within the hero. They've obviously got Funnick and Silent, who are both. Well, Funnick is obviously very renowned for his Wisp. And Silent has had a pretty good showing on the Wisp as well. Makes it a little bit weird, a little bit less weird in terms of the draft, since sort of having your offlaner, who is also for some reason your Wisp, is a little bit weird. And unless we've asked for a remake or something like that in chat, no, we have not. Na'Vi are still burning through all of their reserve time right now, weighing all of those options in terms of how this draft plays out. And I guess maybe Puppy very methodically thinking step through step here, and he's actually going to come up with a gyrocopter. We'll see what the next one's going to be. Hopefully he doesn't let it random, and it's actually going to be a Shadow Demon. So Na'Vi may be looking here to exploit a weakness of the Wisp, which is that you can offensively tri-lane against a Wisp as a support, since he doesn't really bring all that much to a tri-lane versus tri-lane scenario. It's a good way to shut him out. Empire's reaction has frequently been to pick up obviously a hero that's compatible with Wisp in a duo lane, and then just running a duo mid depending on what the enemy team has. So if Na'Vi are too obvious with this aggression, if they're too obvious that they're going to be going for an offensive tri-lane, if they effectively lock themselves into it with their pickups, then Empire can just look to run their off lane as a suicide lane, run a duo mid, then perhaps run a jungler and then a true offlaner, or just having people farm up on top. So they're actually going to opt for Keeper of the Light and the Chaos Knight here. No big surprises, the CK the obvious pairing for the Wisp, and Coddle, if they do choose to defensively tri-lane, is one of the best defensive tri-lane heroes in the game. Na'Vi are actually going to opt to pick up the Chen here So we could see some offensive jungling Chen. Perhaps we're probably going to see that, obviously more than likely, in the hands of Puppy Chen. More thought of, I suppose, as that defensive jungler, though we have seen teams like LGD Int run him as a very early roaming ganking support, partnered with the Shadow Demon. So we saw a lot of 1437 and Misery running that for LGD Int, and it actually worked out fantastically for them, though not against teams that are as aggressive as Empire. So Empire banning out the Broodmother here, sort of Light of Heaven's hero, and a potential pickup right now for Na'Vi, since if they're going to be running this tri-lane or this aggressive 2.5 lane with the Chen, Shadow Demon, and the Gyrocopter, then they do need to pick up some strong solos with their remaining picks. They're going to opt to ban out the TA here, so both teams are still fishing a little bit for a mid, though Empire can obviously just send the Wisp and the CK as a duo mid. It has worked out fantastically for them in the past. And Empire, what's it going to be? Perhaps some more off-lane bans. We might see something like the Winter banned out, but Na'Vi, I mean, their lineup is a little bit weird right now. Shadow Demon is obviously very single target focused. The Disruption is a big help in terms of saving people who are being focused down by CK and Wisp, but he doesn't really bring too much to a team fight. Chen, obviously quite a strong pusher, and Gyrocopter a very strong, well, early to mid gamer in his own right, but we'll see how this works out for Na'Vi. I mean, Empire don't really have all that much team fight to bring to bear at the moment either, so we could see that picked up as we head through the draft. But if there's anything that characterizes Empire, it's really sort of cool. It's calculated, but it's non-stop aggression, and it's really what they're looking to go for, sort of with this Wisp and the Chaos Knight. It's something that they're obviously very, very comfortable with. Na'Vi can choose to ban out the Undying here, and the Nake's going to be the target of Empire right now. So again, I guess a lesson that we've learned from watching No Tidehunter of late is that the Gyrocopter does not necessarily have to be in a carry or a semi-carry role, or even a farming role. You can sort of run what I guess has been affectionately nicknamed at this point the Ake-copter, which is the support Gyrocopter, running a little bit in the jungle, maybe jungling up a little bit with Chen, and getting that farm there. And yeah, chat finally loaded. Ashella is right, so hello to you in chat. Looks like it's finally online. And I guess maybe the Twitch servers are suffering a little bit right now, but yeah, I finally got chat up, so that's always nice to have. Okay, so we're coming into our last two bans right now. Empire, it's been a little bit weird for them. I mean, Nakes is not a solo, Broodmother is a solo. It's a little bit eclectic. I mean, both teams maneuvering a lot in this draft. Empire have got some heroes that they're extremely familiar with. Na'Vi, not sure to the same degree, though. Puppy on Chen is obviously pretty prolific, and Arzart, I think he's capable of playing every support under the sun. So, Empire, what's the ban going to be? Again, Na'Vi's strategy is not obvious right now. Those three heroes that you see on the board could be their three supports. It's going to be an Enigma ban. It's a little bit weird. I don't think Na'Vi are going to be running any duo jungle, so I guess Empire just want to throw something out there. Maybe they're not all that concerned. It's going to be the Funnic Clinks banned out here by Na'Vi. So that might lead them into running someone safe lane solo, and then again pushing them towards that offensive tri-lane, or offensive 2.5 down on bot. And yes, you're 100% right. Game has been a stand-in for Na'Vi before, and he does play a very mean Rubik. We've seen that before. And who is missing? It's actually Dendo who is missing right now, or a Dendi, I suppose. And Empire, they're going to opt to pick up a Bounty Hunter here, so he's probably just going to be their off-lane solo, or even their safe lane solo if they do run that duo mid, if they're trying to avoid Na'Vi's offensive tri-lane, since, again, Keeper of the Light strong in the defensive tri-lane, Wisp relatively weak, though the CK does sort of help out in that regard. And Brewmaster actually another pickup for Na'Vi, another hero that's very difficult to lock down in terms of the draft. He could be mid, he could be in an offensive tri-lane with the Shadow Demon, he could, well, not really so much as a solo safe lane, but there's plenty of flexibility to the Brewmaster, and it's a nice pickup all the same. So Na'Vi haven't really given away their lanes all that much right now. They've got plenty of options. The Chen is maybe a little bit less flexible than you would sometimes see, or than that you do see between the Gyrocopter and the Brewmaster, but there's still wiggle room there for Na'Vi, and they can still run their lanes however they feel appropriate. Empire are going to go for a last pickup, Puck. So the standard way to run their lanes right now would be defensive tri-lane, Wisp, Keeper of the Light, Chaos Knight, Bounty Hunter as their off lane, and Puck as their mid. Whether or not that is going to be the case is a completely different story in this game. We could see them trying to put the puck down on bot to deal with perhaps an offensive tri-lane from Na'Vi. There's plenty of options for them there as well in terms of trying to outmaneuver. And Na'Vi just go for even a little bit more team fight here. They're just picking up the Tidehunter. So we've got no obvious mid, though I guess obviously we don't have Dendi right now, so maybe Na'Vi not feeling as confident with their lineup. And I guess effectively they ended up with more supports than perhaps they bargained for, having Game as their stand-in. And he's actually going to be on the Chen. So we'll see how that works out. I believe, well, I'm not sure who Game is exactly, but anyway, we're in the game. I'm finally remembering to use my overlay these days as well. So over on Na'Vi, Puppy is going to be on mid as the Brewmaster. He's got a Bottle Rush set up. We've got Havost on the Gyrocopter, so it's going to be a farming Gyrocopter. Light of Heaven is on the Tidehunter. Game, as we saw, is on the Chen, and Arzart is going to be on the Shadow Demon. We've got a disconnected Scandal on mid, playing the puck. Silent is on the offlane right now as Bounty Hunter. He's being pulled a Poor Man's Shield. Well, he's being pulled regen so that he could buy a Poor Man's Shield for himself. Down on bot, Blow Your Brain is going to be playing the Chaos Knight. Funnick is going to be on the Wisp, and that leaves Go Black to play the Keeper of the Light this time around. So it is just a fairly standard way of running these lanes for Empire right now. Looks like it's just going to be an offlane Tidehunter, played by Light of Heaven here. He's got some Observer Wards in his inventory there. Do we actually have any sentries picked up? Yes, we do. Funnick has some right there, so they're probably just going to be spent on dewarding. Offlane Tide is something that we have not seen in a very, very long time. Well, not in a very, very long time, but it's something that hasn't necessarily been all that popular recently, and I guess part of the problem with that as well was the damage nerf that Ravage took. It seems relatively insubstantial, I suppose, but it did mean quite a bit. Funnick is actually blocking Blow Your Brain a little bit there. The 1 second stun connect. Light of Heaven, is he going to be able to get out of the tether stun? It hasn't been used just yet. Blow running forward aggressively. He didn't actually manage to connect that one there. So a lot of that may have just come down to Funnick being body blocked a little bit by Blow Your Brain as they tried to come up the river. And just a quick pause. That might be a verification that this is the correct server, perhaps. And yeah, just ping is being checked right now. Havost playing on 170 ping. So we've got to pause just for the moment. Interesting to see that Puppy is on mid. This is not something that I would have expected to see, especially with a Chen being in the game. But we'll see how he handles himself. So yeah, and also interesting to see that somebody else is on Chen aside from Puppy. So we'll see how Puppy, King of the Jungle, does against Scandal on mid, who is obviously a very prolific mid. Maybe you know, Puppy's got some secret tips from Dendi on dealing with Scandal, but we'll have to see. So let's think about how these lanes play out. Up on top, they've got, well, they don't really have great kill potential to lock the Bounty Hunter out of the lane. Obviously, Chen is a fairly defensive jungler. They've got a smoke picked up. There's a second smoke on Arzart as well. This is very LGD int-esque. The roaming Shadow Demon plus Chen, there's the potential there, and the duo smokes do sort of contribute to that feeling that they are going to be looking for those ganks. We've now got the unpaused, Light of Heaven able to make his way back to pick up the Terminate Rune, which was those illusions, but he's going to eat and Illuminate for his trouble as well, and Funnick just throwing a few auto attacks down from the high ground as well. So it's just fairly easy farm for both carries right now, though Silent can afford to put the pressure on Havost a little bit more than Light of Heaven can down on bot. He's just here to soak up XP. And Game and Arzart going for the very first smoke of the game. Where are they heading for right now? It's actually up and around. They've got some sentry wards picked up. Silent just hiding in Invis right now. Havost has got Rocket Barrage and Homing Missile picked up right now, so it's good first blood abilities for him. Silent reveals himself, but Game and Arzart are here. They throw down one sentry already. Silent heads off into the side and actually dodges out of the way of the rocket there. He's actually just heading all the way up and out of the way of the second sentry, so this looks like this first gank is not going to connect. The Silent is pretty much stuck up here, at least for a little while. Yeah, but he did see both of those sentries going down, so he might die as he tries to get back, unless he feels like waiting around for 3 minutes. Up here, but he's gonna run out of Shadow Walks pretty soon, since the cooldown is equal to the duration. Scandal taking some harassment on mid. Looks like he just got clapped up there by Puppey, and Light of Heaven realizing that there's not really anything for him down on bot, just making a movement up and around to place a ward, which is going to be promptly dewarded by Go Black. Puppey, Light of Heaven, but not being very subtle with the placement there. We've got a lot of blows being traded back and forth on mid, not actually very high CS. For 2 minutes into the game, the 2-minute rune has spawned, and Puppey, already with his bottle picked up, luckily he luckily grabs himself that haste. We've still got Silent hiding up in the trees right now, so nowhere near XP, but as he heads back, well, can he even make his escape right now? If he even tries to cut through here, he's going to be spotted out by that sentry, but now he's going for it. Arzart turns around, tanking up the creeps a little bit. There's the disruption, but Chen is way too far away to try and make anything happen. So it looks like Silent is going to be fine to escape. And realizing that he was running low on Shadow Walks there, so using that very last one to make his getaway. He's still got one more sentry ward to contest with right now, but he's in a slightly better position to try and soak up a bit of XP. Now eating the Rocket Barrage, which is only level 1, but still doing some huge damage. He doesn't actually have a Windwalk right now. Havos is considering the tower dive, but he's not actually tanking it with the Rocket. Comes in with the Rocket Barrage. This is going to be our first blood. Havos securing that one fairly easily. And now maybe just waiting for the creep wave to push in so he can make his escape on mid. Puppey pops up the haste, gets the clap down, but he's now silenced and on pretty low HP. Scandal making his way back up to full and forced to bottle crow a little bit. Why the hell there is a flying courier recipe on the courier, I'm not sure. I think Go Black is regretting maybe a little bit of a double click there, but yeah, maybe Scandal called for a flying courier and both supports responded at the same time. So that's a bit weird to see. We'll probably see that one sold in just a second, or perhaps not. So Puppey on mid already used those bottle charges up. Blow is finding really good farm down on bot, though Havos does obviously have that kill to his name as well. So while he's down 5 CS, he's probably actually ahead in terms of net worth, and a quick check-in will verify that right now. And since he did get so much bonus gold from getting that first blood. And it's just going to be a max flat cannon build for him. The 4-minute rune, sorry, is going to be claimed by Light of Heaven down on bot, so Puppey probably not able to make it down there in time to secure that one. Not a whole lot of aggression from the supports just yet. We've actually got a bit of an early push happening from game. Up on top, he's got the Satyr Hellcaller picked up. There's a disruption going down. Silent standing right underneath that sentry ward. But looks like he's going to be fine to make his escape. And Havos couldn't actually get in position to try and do any damage there. Tower down on about half HP. Would be nice to keep the siege creep alive, though. Arzart is actually going to deny it there. So that's a bit of a weird decision. We've got the Coddle up here now as well, trying to kill off the Satyr. It's pretty low on HP, and game is just going to deny it to make sure that there's no big chunk of XP going the way of Empire right now. The fortification pops as well. This might be a deny, in fact. Nice little play there, and a good rotation up from Go Black means that Na'Vi not going to be at the full economic advantage from getting that tower down. So, nice little movement there. I mean, Go Black's only level 2, but that Illuminate's strong enough to end that push. So, we'll see what the response is right now from Na'Vi. Their offlane is having an absolutely awful time. I mean, Light of Heaven down at level 1. Silent not doing a whole lot better, though he has managed to find level 3. On mid, Puppey now up to 6. The same story for Scandal. Puppey hasn't really missed out on all that much XP. Even just grabbing that top rune was a very short walk for him. Blows to finding some good farm down on bot. Ring of Health actually picked up. A little bit interesting to see that. We'll see what he goes for. Could perhaps be a Vanguard, I suppose, if they're going for some really aggressive tower divey sort of strats. But again, we'll see how the game plays out. I mean, I guess Na'Vi, a bit of a problem for them right now is that they do have a Tidehunter who is struggling and just stacking a few camps, and they have a Chen who isn't obviously the best ganking support in the world, so they can't really put all that much pressure on Scandal on mid, unless they manage to find themselves a troll or something like that. The Dreamcall thrown down on Light of Heaven. Big nuke through as well. Light of Heaven drops low, but there's a disruption. Scandal now in a little bit of trouble. He used the orb extremely aggressively. He might die here. Puppey comes in, looking for the clap. Nice silence, but the right clicks enough in the end to secure that kill for Na'Vi. And a lot of that was just spotting out Tide first, throwing the orb through, considering jaunting onto the invisibility, but not quite realizing that Arzart and game were just waiting on the other side of the rune. So Scandal had to do a quick double take, and that was enough to kill him off there. So if he had the orb still up, he could have just orbed up onto the high ground and made his escape. So one skill usage, that was the difference between life and death there for Scandal. And that's a 2-kill lead right now for Na'Vi on the board. Game and Arzart, they're both extremely low, but it's an aggressive smoke gank for them. They've still got the sentry to play with at least for a little while. Do they have any fresh anti-invis? Yes, they do. Arzart has that sentry up in his inventory. Havost comes forward. Can they connect this gank? Silent heads off into the trees, but there's not a whole lot of juke spots for this entrance. Now throwing the sentry ward down. He is completely blocked in. And the Soul Catcher and that Rocket Barrage, just a little bit too much. So Havost secures himself another kill. And actually a Helm of Iron will picked up for him. So it looks like it's going to be an early Dominator, perhaps looking to stack up the Ancient Camp, which has already been stacked up 2 times by Light of Heaven as he was on that offlane. So I didn't notice that, but that's what he's been up to right now. Goblak comes in to try and end the push a little bit on top, although the tier 2 has already taken some damage. And Puppey actually moving in with an invis. He's got only a few seconds left on this one. Now reveals himself off. Throws out the clap, but he might be forced to use the ultimate just defensively here. And they've got the relocate in as well. Throws out the stun, but these pandas are just trying to book it out of here. Funnick has actually headed back to wherever he came from, but nice setup into the air. Looks like Puppey is going to be fine to escape, but not finding anything with this first Brewmaster ultimate, which is extremely significant. That's now on cooldown for 3 minutes. So this is time for Empire to try and make something happen. Scandal now heading up into the Dire Jungle, trying to scout out game. Doesn't actually manage to connect the orb damage there. Threatening the stomp, not used. There's a stomp. Puppey comes in. Clap as well. Scandal drops low. Looks like game is actually going to make his escape, but still hasting around. Has a few seconds left. Centaur comes in. Stomp still on cooldown for a little while, but looks like Scandal just going to be forced to use the orb to get the hell out of there. We've got Blow Your Brain and Funnick making an aggressive move forward, but Arzart, nice disruption. Not sure how he even got that one. As the Reality Rift is flying through, but looks like he's going to make his very low health escape as well, and Funnick actually drops. Puppey comes in, 4 seconds stun from Blow Your Brain. The Centaur doesn't have another stomp in him just yet. The Illuminate flies through. That one kills off Puppey. Light of Heaven in a little bit of a dangerous spot right now. Body blocked slightly by Blow Your Brain. They've got a Soul Catcher down on Goblak, and the homing missile coming in as well. Havost in from the side, and Goblak securing another kill there. Havost now in a little bit of trouble, but he's chasing down Goblak, who's still got the last few seconds of that Soul Catcher on him. Nice Reality Rift. And there's another stun from Blow Your Brain. He's now completely out of mana, but Havost is going to drop. Light of Heaven comes in. He wants to kill on Goblak, but it might be his own life traded away for it. Can he make his escape? He's got 5 wand charges up. Blow doesn't actually have enough mana, but the Dream Coil from Scandal picks himself up a double kill there. So at the end of all of that engagement, at the end of all of that, it's an even scoreboard right now. 5 for 5 on either side. And Puppey, I guess, a little bit remorseful about having to use that ultimate up here. Could have been a big difference in the team fight up in the jungle. But Na'Vi's still not doing all that badly. XP actually in favor of the Radiant side right now, which is surprising given that Na'Vi do have that true jungler, and a lot of that issue is the fact that Light of Heaven, well, he was actually pretty underleveled, but having a quick check in on the hero levels right now, I mean, Na'Vi supports are a little bit behind, but not doing all that badly. So you can see where the XP discrepancy is sort of coming into play. Havost is the most farmed on the map right now. There's nothing on the courier just yet. Well, Relocate is now off cooldown one more time, so Blow Your Brain and Funnick probably looking for something at the moment, so just going to keep my eye on them. And a fresh charge of mana delivered as well by Goblak. They are ready to go, and the target is up on top. Havost, is he in trouble? The track is up. He is dropping low. The 3-second stun, not even needed. Track gold going the way of 3 there for Empire, and just nothing that Na'Vi could really do to react to that one. Chen obviously very, very immobile as far as supports go, and a nice easy kill picked up from Empire. So Na'Vi, we're now clocking past the 10-minute mark. We've seen 1 tower fall, though that one was denied. Light of Heaven is almost up to level 6 as well. So they're going to have that boost in effectiveness from the Ravage coming online pretty soon as well, but this looks a little bit like trouble, perhaps, for them right now. Every single time that Relocate is off cooldown, Blow Your Brain and Funnick should be able to try and make a gank happen, unless Na'Vi can find that 5-man group up and push, which they should, by all rights, be able to do with their lineup. They've got great team fight. They've got great team fight as soon as everyone gets their ultimates online. I mean, Brewmaster ultimate, as soon as he gets it, is absolutely ridiculous, and scales up quite well. They've obviously got the call down on the Gyrocopter, and all of his nukes and spells early game are actually pretty good. Blow moving forward aggressively, but Funnick is maybe just a little bit too far away. Now in with the Tether, Light of Heaven off to the side, just sitting with that Ravage online now as well, and actually has some Arcane Boots in tow. So has been finding at least a little bit of farm during this game. Puppey comes in from the side. It's going to be a drum as the pickup for him, and game has actually tracked up the relocate, comes in right underneath the tower. The Centaur Stomp not quite there, and that is one dead Chen right now on top. And it is actually a Vanguard for Blow Your Brains, so we talked about them maybe relocating right underneath towers, and we just saw how little protection the tower provided there for the Chen. So Na'Vi getting picked apart a little bit right now, and every single time that relocate is up, if they can find one tracked unit, that is trouble. Blow Your Brain Reality Rift himself through, now stuck in the disruption, is support there. Funnick is actually all the way down here, so it looks like Blow is in a little bit of trouble, but now the tethered bonus move speed and some healing coming through. Funnick looks for the tether stun, does find it on Light of Heaven. He does die, but Blow is still alive right now. The homing missile, however, is chasing through. It's only rank 1, however. Blow has a stun in just a second. The Shadow Poison flying through. Still pretty tanky with the Vanguard. Now pops out the stick charges. 3-second stun on Light of Heaven. Juking down into the trees. Does have a Quelling Blade. Could try and juke a little bit and cut through, but now she's just trying to escape, using that bonus move speed, buying himself as much time as he possibly can. The buyback now from Funnick, coming in with the spirits up. And buyback as well from Blow. They are looking for blood right now. The clap from Puppy, but Goblack already finding a kill there. And a nice Dream Call canceling the TP scroll from Puppy as well. So Empire find themselves 2 in that engagement, though they did use 2 buybacks for that one as well. So a bit of a trade back and forth, and as the dust settles, Empire do still find themselves with a 2-kill lead right now. I mean, game is still just jungling up a little bit right now. He's finally up to level 7. So he can now get that 3rd creep, but it's already starting to look a little bit late. They've still got tier 1s to take on mid and on bot, but again, the problem is just being, well, sort of picked apart by the relocate ganks, and not sure if they can even take Empire in a full-scale engagement right now, especially with sort of the guarantee that they're more than likely going to be down 1 hero, especially with the relocate now being off cooldown one more time. Expect that one to be coming through. And Empire are going to claim their first tower of the game. Actually, no, was that the second? Or was that 2 at once? Doesn't matter. RD's the target on mid for that relocate. And Na'Vi just scattering to the wind. They've only got a few seconds left. So Blow still chasing forward aggressively. Reality Rift through on Havos. The track move, bonus move speed is there as well. Now a 3-second stun. Havos trying to send it back to base. The Hand of God pops as well. Looks like it's going to be just enough time. Well played there by Game. Now trying to make his escape. Silent tanking up the creeps a little bit there. But he's fine. And as I say that, Goblack actually drops on mid. So Puppy picking himself up that kill. And that wasn't with the ultimate used either. That one's still cooling down right now. TP's coming in up towards top end. Empire, they're diving deep into the dire jungle. They haven't even picked up this tier 1 on top, but they just do not care right now. Though the kill split is still 2 as the difference right now. Empire's hero is starting to pull ahead a little bit in terms of that net worth, and a lot of that coming sort of from the track kills. I mean, it looks relatively even, but Empire ending up with a little bit more gold in their pockets after every single skirmish. Puppy not getting very close to his Blink Dagger at all, and it's something that they do really need. Light of Heaven isn't going to really have the opportunity to pick one up this game. So Puppy is the initiator. I mean, there's really no 2 ways about it. Havost really can't get in range to try and make anything happen. He's got a Helm of the Dominator picked up, but we don't actually have a Dominated creep doing anything right now. So that's a little bit interesting to see. He could be picking up an Aura creep just to try and help out with a little bit of pushing, and does now finally grab himself a Satyr Hellcaller. So we might see that trying to do a little bit of ancient stacking. Blow and Funnick are here looking for game, and they're actually going to find themselves a kill. Puppy walks in, he's silenced, he's Dream Coiled, he is in big trouble. Light of Heaven coming in, but he's actually blocked by the creeps there. He can't make his way through. Puppy sent off to the side right now. We've got the Wildkin Tornado channeled up as well, but Silent able to kill off Light of Heaven. Did we see a Ravage pop there? Not sure if we did. Havost dropped low. Blow Your Brain going to work on him. Doesn't actually drop. There's a 4-second stun on Havost. Silent trying to right click him down. Pops the 1 charges there. And Illuminate just dodged out of the way there, but actually finds that kill. And Goblack drops off on the sidelines. Still more fighting happening. Puppy manning up right now. Can he get enough evades right now to try and find a kill? Not with that Shuriken toss flying through. And now Arzart going for the man-up game right now, but the orb through. The phase shift as well. Scandal going to find himself a kill, and a wicked 6 streak for him as well. So, a little bit of an interesting team fight. We did see the Ravage used there. So I guess bad eyes there from me, but I don't know if everyone saw, but Light of Heaven was trying to make his way through here, and he was just being continuously blocked by Chen creeps. So not sure what the hell was going on with the pathing. He really should have been forced sort of around, and we've got a teleport, not even a teleport in. Light of Heaven has just walked straight into Funnick and Blow Your Brain. There was actually a TP used, but Light of Heaven is dead. Havost comes in as well. We did see the Hand of God pop but they are already back to whence they came, and that's straight back to the Radiant Fountain right now, so they're going to be fine to heal up. And Funnick maybe just going to have to wait around until that homing missile comes through as well. Smoke of Deceit pops off, and we've got a recall coming in right now on Blow Your Brain, so Funnick just making his way up towards top as quickly as he can. The Dream Coil thrown down. Arzard drops, game in trouble. He's going to be right-clicked down by Scandal. Monster kill streak for him, and Empire are not done. I mean, Puppey is still all the way off over here, trying to get that level 11 up as quickly as he can, and 80 seconds until the Brewmaster ultimate. He can't really make anything happen, and this is time that Empire is using to its fullest extent. So, Empire, maybe they're done with hero kills for now, but they've still got plenty of towers to secure as well. Puppey is still nowhere near a Blink Dagger, and Silent smoked up a little bit, looking for some action. He's actually got a Vlad's picked up, so Empire maybe have their sights set on Rosh as well. Puppey throws down the clap. Looks like he's going to be fine to escape, unless that relocate is cooling down in just a second. And a little bit of a lag spike there from me, or from the server. So sorry about that, guys. And if Puppey isn't careful, that track is still going to be up as the relocate comes online, though the Brewmaster ultimate is close enough to being cooled down that Empire maybe aren't 100% sure about the cooldown. The Reality Rift through is going to find Arzard, 2 seconds done, but it's all they need. Another kill on the Shadow Demon picked up there, and 1 for 6 the score right now for Arzard. Unfortunately, Shadow Demon great at saving other people from CK and Wisp, not so great at saving himself, and we've got the relocate actually heading down towards bot to try and find Havost, who is doing a little bit of split pushing. It's only another 2 seconds done, so Blow not all that lucky this time around, but with the urn and those spirits going to be able to find that kill, and Empire very wisely camping out the return spot so Na'Vi can't try and capitalize on Empire there. And a long-range Reality Rift finds Puppey. He does have the ultimate off cooldown in just a second, but now silenced up. The nukes are there. Pops the stick charges. Can he survive? Nice Ravage from Light of Heaven, going to buy Puppey enough time, but now he's forced to use the ultimate. Light of Heaven drops low. Throw in from Silent. There's still a ward down right now, so they can spot him out. Puppey going to work. Good micro for now, and 3 seconds down on game. Looks like he's going to drop. Puppey still trying to kill off Silent, but it's a very long, well, it's a lot of committal from this ultimate to try and grab that one. Blow and Funnick still tethered together, and Puppey now out of that ultimate. He is fodder for the grind fest that is Empire right now. So Puppey, he's going to tap out, calls the GG, and Empire walk away with a 19-minute victory in this first game for this best of 3 set. So, well played by Na'Vi, but unfortunately, again, I guess they had a stand-in. They didn't have their typical solo mid, so Puppey was forced to play that role. And while everything sort of worked out okay, I mean, they had the Chen, they couldn't really make that much happen with it. They got the tier 1 tower on top, but that was actually denied. And tier 1s are now still standing for Empire after the game is ended on mid and on bot. So they didn't really find all that much push out of the Chen, and we didn't really see any LGD int-esque roaming and smoke ganks or anything like that. But given the heroes that were in the lanes, I mean, a Puck on mid, not the easiest hero in the world, obviously to gank. They found 1 kill, but that was only really because Scandal was playing really aggressively with his orb. But that's, I guess, a little bit of a summary there. So anyway, I've been Baseskip. This was game 1 of our best of 3 set, as I said. As always, this is the Raidcall Dota 2 League. A reminder that if you don't enjoy my coverage, or if I'm lagging a little bit too much for you guys, then you can head over and check out AC and Rascal on the official stream. So that's twitch.tv, One More Game TV, I believe. But thanks everyone for tuning in. We've got the next game coming up pretty soon, and I hope to see you guys for that one.